Video is going to discuss how to create a high-res print-ready PDF in Adobe applications for saddle stitch and Y-row calendars. Now, as you can see, I have already set up my file with 28 pages, and the reason being is that saddle stitch calendars require multiples of 4 pages. So there are 12 monthly pages, and then there are 12 pages of photos for each month. January photo, January month, and then outside front cover and outside back cover. And then there's also 2 extra pages where you can put any artwork you like on the saddle stitch calendar, because it has to be multiples of 4, so it leaves 2 extra pages. On a Y-row calendar, it just needs to be multiples of 2 pages. So these extra 2 pages are optional, not required at all. To make this file, I went into File menu, Document Setup, and you can see I made it 28 pages for saddle stitch. If this was a Y-row calendar, I would have made it 26 pages. My final calendar is going to be 11 by 8.5 when they're all bound and created into little calendar books. You don't want to make this bigger or smaller than your calendar. You want it to be the exact size of the final calendar you want. Don't include bleed in this. Don't do anything like that, just exact size. My calendar is going to be 11 by 8.5. Under bleed and slug, right here, you want to make sure you add 1/8 of an inch to top, bottom, left, right, and then click OK. All right, so you can see I've already placed all my artwork on all the pages. Every month has its own image all the way down to December, and then this is an extra page, and this is the extra page in the saddle stitch calendar, and this is the back cover. We have on our website templates that you can download that'll help you set up the calendar. This template is 28 pages. This is the saddle stitch calendar, and you can see we have months in each of the 12 months in there, as well as a day for a photo, a page for a photo corresponding to each month, all the way down to December. And then you can see we have the extra 2 pages here, and then the back cover. This template is the Y-row calendar, and you can see up here these blocks, these squares, are where the paper is going to get punched out so that the Y-row coil that holds the calendar together can be thread through this. The paper will literally have holes here, so you want to make sure no type, no logos, nothing important is up here in between these. Now, this is 26 pages. Again, every month has a photo page and a calendar page. And if you go all the way through to December, you can see there's no 2 extra pages. It's 26 pages. December goes right to back cover. Okay. Now I went ahead and I made a layer for each, the Y-row template and the saddle stitch template, so that you can see how you would place these in the file. Let me zoom in a little and turn off the art layer. This is the saddle stitch template, and the Y-row template is very similar to this. You can see we have all kinds of lines in here and an explanation. The black line is the trim edge, the pink line is the bleed edge, and the blue line is the safety margin edge. The safety margin is 1/8 of an inch inside of the trim edge for almost all our products. And this line determines where type, logos, important elements should not extend past it. There's a chance it could get trimmed a little bit if you had some type here past the safety margin edge in between these two in this 1/8 inch gap. It could potentially get clipped in the printing and the binding, because paper and moisture, and it's moving on a conveyor belt, they don't line up perfectly. Printing isn't perfect, so there's some flexibility that we need, and that's the safety margin. And the same thing for the bleed. The bleed is 1/8 of an inch past the trim edge. So any artwork that goes to the trim edge must extend 1/8 of an inch past it, whether it's an image or a solid color or a gradient or whatever it is that you have. If it goes all the way to the trim edge, it must extend an extra 1/8 of an inch past the trim edge. And you can see that only on that page in this particular calendar sample shows any bleed. Let me show you. So here's the December photo. Here's the December monthly calendar. My artwork did not use our template calendar, but you can if you want to. It's entirely up to you. You can use your own monthly calendars pages or use the one from our template. So if you see here December, and here's the extra pages, because this is the saddle stitch template that I'm showing you, and here's the back cover. Now if we switch to the Y-row template, you can see the marks are a little different, the margin's a little different because of the punch out for the Y-row binding. And you can see the safety margin, the trim edge, and the bleed edge. Now in Y-row, there's no marks here because these 2 pages are the extra pages to make a saddle stitch bind correctly with multiples of 4 pages. These would not be here in the Y-row book, okay? And all the same principles apply. This is the safety margin, the trim edge, the bleed edge. Everything must bleed if it touches the trim edge. Now, when we go, if you want to use our template and not supply your own monthly calendar page, you cannot print the PDF and make a PDF with these template lines in them, the blue line, the black line, the pink line. This drill hole, which is an option on our website, you can order calendars with and without the drill hole. We put it into the template so that you'll know where it's located and you can build your artwork around that if you choose a drill hole. Now, if you leave this template in here, you want to use our template, you want to use our monthly template, it's okay to use it, but you can't leave these lines in here. You have to take the box, the image box, and reduce it so that it hides these lines that cannot print. If you don't remove these lines from the template, from the PDF, they will print. We can't take them out. Once you supply us with a print ready PDF, we cannot take these marks out. So you must supply us a PDF without them. Now, if you use our monthly calendar page, you're going to see that these are going to stay in here because they're on the same layer. So you're going to need to go and delete the January, delete the front cover, and then go through and delete the February, close down the box so that you don't see the template in all the month pages if you choose to use ours, all the way through the entire book and the entire calendar. You have to do the same thing. Okay, so let's go back to the artwork. All right, now I'm going to lock that. This back cover image is a link. So let's look at the links palette, back cover. If you go to here, you can get some information on links. This one is an RGB linked image, and it's 150 DPI. Effective PPI is 150 DPI. The original image is 300 DPI, but it's enlarged 200%, which reduces the DPI by half. So even though the original is 300 DPI, it doesn't matter because it was placed at 200%, which reduced it to 150 DPI, which is considered low res. Anything under 300 DPI is considered low res. and will not print as sharply as a 300 DPI image or link. Also, for RGB, we prefer all images to be in CMYK mode. The reason is we print in cyan, magenta, yellow inks, which all files that we get, whether they have RGB images, spot colors, anything other color mode, our RIP will automatically convert all other color modes, spot colors, RGB images to CMYK because we print in those inks, cyan, magenta, yellow, black. RGB tends to be brighter colors than CMYK, so some people do not like the automatic conversion that we have from RGB to CMYK. So in that case, we would recommend you convert your image to CMYK yourselves before you link it, and then make any color adjustments you want on that end to make sure that what you get in the end, the final printed calendars, will closely match the color of the file you supplied. Now you can see we have another image over here with the same artwork, but this one is CMYK, which is good. That's what we want. And it's 300 DPI, the original image, but it was placed at 100% instead of 200%. So the effective DPI is still 300 DPI, which makes it high res. So what we should do is replace this image with this image so that we have a good quality CMYK 300 DPI image as the back cover. And you can check all your other pages for that as well. Okay. So now we're going to export the PDF. You go to File, Export. Wherever you want to put your file, choose your place. Format, Adobe PDF Print is what you want. Click Save. And then you want to choose PDF X4 2008. It comes preloaded in all Adobe programs. So it's available in InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, etc. You'll notice these also come preloaded, high quality print, press quality, don't use those. They're not really high quality. They're not very good. So now the PDF X4 2008 has all these presets, which you want to keep. You don't really want to change them. You want to make sure this is single pages. That's what we want. We do not want spreads. We need single pages in order to impose the calendar correctly for press, not spreads. There is one part of these tabs that you have to change. You need to choose Use Document and Bleed Settings under Marks and Bleeds tab. This comes from the document setup where we added that in, where we added in our number of pages, our page size. We added this bleed in. If you have put in an eighth there or a ½ inch, this is what would be there. If you didn't do that, you can turn this off and you can manually type these in, but it needs to be here as well. The bleed in the file will not come out if you do not do this. Even if there's bleed in the file, even if your images bleed perfectly, if this is all 0, you will not have bleed in your print ready PDF. So it's very important to make sure to add this. So you want to PDF X4 2008, make sure it's single pages, marks and bleeds, add an eighth, and then export the file. You can see it's exporting to my desktop. Okay, and then we're going to open it. Now you can see I made a mistake. I left the template in here, and that's not good because the template will print. We cannot take out the template from the PDF. So it's very important that we go back into our InDesign file, click on that in our layers palette, and turn off our template. Now, if you were using our monthly calendar pages, not your own, you would have had to gone through and deleted all the non-monthly calendar template pages and then reduced all the templates down so that none of the lines in the template mark show. like that. But we have our own, so we're just going to hide that Y-row template layer, and then we're going to export the PDF again, and we're going to export it right over and replace the existing one because that was a mistake. All the presets that you set here, all the options you chose, including the bleed, should still be here. So we're going to export this new PDF and open this up, and then you can see it's much better. No, the template won't print. And you can see all our page and artwork is here, all the way down. Again, saddle stitch, 28 pages, Y-row. You would not have this page or this page because it would be 26 pages. Now you can see this green line right here. And I'll show you how to get that in Acrobat. Preferences, General, Page Display, Show Art and Trim Edges. Okay, right there. That is your trim edge, that bright green line. Everything on the outside of that edge is your bleed, and everything on the inside is what is going to print. Now you can use this line on each page to make sure that you have bleed for all the pages that you need. So you can see all 4 sides on this page has bleed. Then you can also check to make sure that no type, logos, or anything is too close to this trim edge, which will be a problem. You'll notice that this page, these pages are 11 1/4 by 8 3/4, which is correct because we want our final book to be 11 by 8 1/2. And then we added in an 1/8 of an inch bleed to all 4 sides, which makes it 11 1/4 by 8 3/4 every page all the way through. And you can see everything looks good. So we've made a high-res print ready PDF that can be uploaded to the website.